You're listening to the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes. Here are your hosts, Dave and Aaron. Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes. That's us. We're a podcast focused on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I am Aaron. This is David.
Hello.
What's going on, dude? How are you?
I feel fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I also feel fantastic.
Weather's getting worse, so I don't feel the greatest, but, you know, I don't like grade A's.
Grade A? You don't like, what about chickens? Do you like grade A chickens, like grade A chicken eggs?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
You're probably not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. I never really got a lot of grade A's.
I gotcha.
Well, I did, actually. I was pretty smart.
You had a lot of grade A's
Yeah.
during grade days.
Ooh.
Eating grade A chicken eggs.
Jeez.
I like it.
Maybe we should make a song.
You know, if only I could do stuff like that. If only I was creative like that.
Yeah, you and me both.
Oh, well. So yeah, it is episode 22. Let's go. Bam.
I'm into that.
Getting it done.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Hell yeah. So what is new with you, dude? It's Thanksgiving week, right?
It's, yep. It is my favorite time of the year.
Is it?
In 100%. I like the let's get everybody together.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
Not worry about gift giving.
Ah, the gift giving.
Yeah, they just you make the getting the family together thing more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really do Christmas. We do like Christmas at my house.
Yeah.
Me and the girls, and then sometimes, usually my wife will go to her family's house.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to really do anything because it used to be that I would go on a motorcycle run every year on Christmas Day.
Oh, really?
And so I was usually not available till late afternoon.
That sounds cold, man.
It is. I will tell you, it is very cold to ride your motorcycle on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sounds...
from the suburbs to Chicago.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and then go on a run.
Yeah.
Bikers be crazy.
Yeah.
Bikers be crazy. But yeah, so traditionally I've usually gotten out of that because for a long time I was doing that motorcycle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I do the Christmas thing. I don't mind it for the kids.
I don't mind it either, but there's really no kids in my family.
Yeah.
And nobody's got really little kids. Like cousins do, I think. Yeah, I got a couple cousins do.
Fuck, you're gonna get mad at me from hearing all me blasting this.
No, this
microphone.
is fine as long as you're not doing this one.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I know
Sometimes.
you do. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Let's get into the show.
Let's do it.
Let's do plugs. Obviously, you can find the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite streaming and podcast apps. Two Dope Dudes YouTube channel. Give us a like, leave a review. We appreciate it. This obviously helps us reach more people. We have been doing better. It's been, I think consistency is key.
I like that.
We're just going to keep doing this because we're stubborn and we like doing this
cool.
and hanging out,
Cool people's key, too.
Cool
wanting
people
to listen to us.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
It's always intrigued me.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Me too.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
And watching.
Yeah. You can find us on supportdopepeople.com, along with links to our other pods and free stickers just by providing your email and address, and that is going well as well. And then you can always email us, twodopedudespodcast@gmail.com for all your questions or things you want to talk about. E-drugs, not the biz kind, but,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, hey, right here, I usually put like a little thing, and it's awesome. And it says cropculture.net. You should go to cropculture.net. The reason being is that you can use the code Two Dope Dudes, and you can get $10 off, $100 or more for new customers at cropculture.net. And thanks a bunch, Chris. I appreciate you. Thanks for believing in us. We believe in you.
That's super cool.
And you should get the Crop Culture box. It's great. It's full of wonderful things sometimes that you can't find anywhere else, or that is exclusive to that box.
And it's helping the local homies.
Yeah.
Stop supporting these damn multi-state monsters and help the homies.
Yeah. Support
right.
dope people, literally. Support dope people.
And Chris is one of those dope people.
Yeah, absolutely. So cropculture.net and yeah, for sure. Dave?
Yeah, if you'd like to, please check me out at Peace, Love, and Cope on YouTube. I stream Thursday nights. I've been talking about putting more content out there. I've just been very distracted here lately.
Thanks,
so,
Kelsey.
Love you.
Kelsey's awesome, by the way.
And the greatest thing in my life.
I don't know if she watches the podcast, but
I don't know.
She's pretty.
We're gonna find out.
We're
now.
gonna find out.
Yeah, she's gonna tell me now.
Oh yeah, especially after that thing you told me earlier. I can't believe she does that.
Yeah. She definitely not listening to this shit.
I know. That's why I said that. I'm like, oh, she's definitely gonna say something now.
Yeah. But no, I check me out, please, and I will be there more for you. I'm always there for you. You can always email me, peaceloveandcope@gmail.com. And
yep.
I will answer any questions.
Yep. He might even give you a cell phone number.
Ooh.
And then he'll be texting your mom.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
You know, win for me.
No, but I'm absolutely looking forward to you putting out some more content, and you know, we're working on more educational stuff here, and you know, we're both really excited to do that, and I can't wait for some of that stuff to start coming out too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
100%.
So, let's get into the. Wow, that's awesome. There's not that you guys can probably hear, but there's a truck backing up outside with a beeper. But let's get into the news, just because. Probably going to be a shorter episode today, but that's okay. We've been going like over an hour, and I'm like, man, we're going to have to start making these super long.
Yeah.
But not really. Let's talk about Snoop Dogg, dude. Let's talk about Snoop Dogg. I'm sure everybody saw this. Yeah, Snoop's cool. I've met him before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to hang out
Yeah,
with
Snoop's
that fella.
cool. DMX was much cooler. I love that guy.
Really?
R.I.P. that guy. Speaking of R.I.P.s, yeah. Can I take a second and I just say, you know, R.I.P. to Mark was a loyal listener, and he passed away a couple weeks ago. He was one of our Arkansas listeners, and he listened from, you know, the very beginning. And so R.I.P. to that great man.
Thank you, Mark.
So
yeah, love you, pal.
yeah. So Snoop Dogg, he released a statement saying he was giving up smoke, right? And the internet and marketing media kind of went crazy about it, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody heard about it.
Yeah.
And so there were some people had actually guessed that he was not actually giving up marijuana, but was going to start smoking THCA because he just invested in a company to sell hemp-derived products in all 50 states. That doesn't seem to be it. It seems to be he is going to be the spokesperson for a smokeless fire pit.
Yep.
A smokeless fire pit. So he's not actually giving up marijuana, because that would
But
be...
it triggered everybody. Now people are like, I need this Snoop Dogg smokeless fire pit. That's pretty cool. That's a good marketing.
Yeah, it's
That's
called
the way to market.
It's called the Solo Stove.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
awesome is that?
Yeah.
What a way to be. They should pay him twice what they thought they were going to pay
There's a
him.
bunch of those. You know, it's just a fire pit with holes in the bottom at the lower end. That way the smoke, you know, there's air and smoke goes straight up. There's not a lot of smoke. You just drill your grill. Same thing. Pretty cool.
Who knew?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have a backyard, or you don't have a back porch fire pit, obviously.
I do have some fire pits.
You do have some fire pits.
But I have them dug into the ground, and then you just put the wood in there.
Now, I guess I have to say I wouldn't have been surprised if he quit smoking marijuana, because he definitely smokes a lot of marijuana, and he is he uses his voice. You know what I'm saying? Willie Nelson quit combusting marijuana.
I think so. Yep.
I think he just sticks with the edibles now. which
Yeah,
is,
that's all right.
fine.
There's been a part of me that's contemplated slowing back down again. Since I've started smoking again, I have been like packing on the LBs, man. I have been just straight gaining. Well, it's the munchies are a damn real thing, and it's maybe not even just munchies as much as it's like I don't feel not hungry.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, man. Like I've been wanting to, I've been losing weight pretty good, and then all of a sudden, fucking start smoking again, and now I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's weirding me out.
Well, I mean, have you been journaling about it?
I'm pretty good at taking the mental notes about what's been happening here, especially. You just stand on the scale; it'll tell you
That's
a story
true.
of its own. Yeah,
that is 100% true.
But and it is 100% because of cannabis. I have that like. It is a response directly related to me feeling the effects that I feel. It's direct. Like I the amount of ice cream that I have eaten.
Man, that ice cream must be nice.
Fucking love that shit.
No ice cream for me.
Yeah. And it's not like it's packed full of that sugar and calories and fat and shit, So then you just pack it on, man. Well, and I eat it by the cups full.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't do that. Have you
go to Andy's?
Maybe switch. Oh, you go to Andy's?
I love
that custard. Oof. We've had this discussion. Is this custard discussion trois?
Probably trois.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, we've gone on, but I love ice cream, and it's dairy products probably aren't the best.
I think they're fine in moderation.
Process. Yeah, well, I don't moderate.
Well,
I'm.
Then you need to work out more, or you need to expend more energy.
Yeah, to a degree, but that's something I could talk about for days. I think me personally, but like if you eat better, you don't have to work out, and it's not that working out is a good or bad thing. It's whatever you need to do for your physique or whatever. But like,
I mean,
work
you should
out
move as
if
much
you can't.
as possible.
100%. Keep your
to be a healthy
body
human. 100%.
Yeah. Keeping muscles strong enough to keep going through the physical activity is a beautiful thing.
Balance and stuff like that.
But yeah, it also too eating properly helps your cell regeneration and helps your psychology, and it's far better to properly eat.
Yeah.
Then it's more medically beneficial for you to eat correctly than it is for you to exercise. It's just my take behind it.
If you could only have one or the other, you would rather eat better than exercise.
Because you stay physically active. Well, at least I do. I stay physically active to a certain degree, and like, I make sure I get my push-ups in and my pull-ups in, and my, I do a few things here and there to kind of make sure that my muscles feel strong enough. I walk quite a bit, whatever.
Nighttime cardio.
Disco, the disc golf fucking thing is not bad either.
No.
There's kind of a yoga
looseness
aspect of that too. That kind of no, I feel physically active and I feel kind of fine in that regard. I just need to stop maxing food. Just not even there's no like, when I wasn't smoking, I didn't feel the urge to destroy a bag of chips. I could like eat one or two of them and I was fine. I was satisfied. Right now, bro, potato chips and ice cream, just watch the fuck out.
So are you still because with your new girlfriend, because she does not consume cannabis.
Correct.
And so you were not consuming cannabis around her. Is that still pretty much in effect? Or is that changed?
I smoke at the end of the night to like, I hit a vape pen.
Okay.
It's like bananas and oranges or something.
So it's mostly just during the day you're maxing out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
It's like my average eat routine has been going on, but like daytime, like after smoking now, I'm going to drive past that Dimples Donuts.
Yeah.
I'm going to, the lady in there is so fucking nice. Then I start to like, well, it's only, I don't know. I try
Yeah,
to
I know.
justify it, and then like my impulse control is so much fucking worse right now than it is. But like also because of how schwacked I'm feeling, like I'm trying to like get back on the horse. Like I've been on the horse my whole life. I'm not taking any of my own medical advice and
Nope.
whatever. I just
No,
jump right back on the
because
horse.
I
and-
literally, like, I'm just like in my head, I'm just like saying all the things to you that I know that you would say, and I can just hear you going, nah,
yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
good at
that's
nah.
about it.
Yeah.
That's, it's mostly because too, peer pressure's a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not anything bad. I love the ritualistic
Mhm.
passing of a pipe with friends and
Yes.
doing whatever. It's now that I'm back, everybody's like, "Oh, you're back. You smoked this 2-gram joint with
Oh,
nothing but
yeah.
concentrate in the middle of it. Here, eat these edibles." And then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, man, watch out food. And like the more, I'll tell you what, this thing, I don't know, getting a tolerance to it in the capacity where you've almost gotten to the point where you don't feel it anymore.
Yeah.
It might be good to some degree, but I don't know how to fucking take it yet. I'm trying to work my way through the whole process because this thing can be a fucking ride, dude.
Yeah, it really can.
If you do too much of the thing, it can be a fucking ride.
Oh, I know. I know.
I know.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's I'm a big advocate for, the low and slow and like knowing your limits and like just it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no reason to
proper
like
dosing is
effective dosing
in anything, right?
Right.
See, when I was growing up, I fucking hated mushrooms. I thought they were the worst shit in the entire world. But it was because everybody was telling me to eat fucking a half-eighth or an eighth or whatever. And like, dude, I was just getting schwacked. Like the walls were melting on me. I'm trying to like, I was watching a movie once, and I remember it was just one of those things that like you get fucking caught up on. But I was watching some movie once, and I was like, man, the production value on this movie sucks. And my buddy looked at me, he's like, what are you, Ebert and Roper? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, bro, they couldn't get this lady's face to like stay still for 1 second. I'm like, why would they just make it keep moving? And he looked at me all weird as fuck. He's like, bro, the movie's straight as fuck. You're the one who's all whacked out. And I was like, wait, what? And it fucked me up. I was like, oh. And I got in my head real bad. And I was like, oh, these mushrooms, man, it's making it so I can't see straight. And now I'm not in control. Now he thinks I'm Ebert and Roper. I'm fucking over here just fucking... I'm having these overthinking thoughts, and I was like, nah. Now, taking small, tiny micro doses of this, it's been one of the most beneficial to my. I genuinely believe for my psychology that shit has been some of the most effective medicine that I've taken in a while.
I talked to my my girlfriend's grandfather about mushrooms last week or this last week.
Nice. Nice.
It's real cool.
That's it's funny because there's only when did it, 1940 something?
Yeah.
Plenty of our grandparents were born before 1940 something, right? That's when it was 1946 or 1947 when cannabis left the pharmacopoeia, right? So like it was all World War related. It was all in the World War times and shit. And I don't know. It's just there's this generation of probably misinformation that exists about some of the things that can be unbelievably beneficial, And I like finding the proper amount and doing the thing that's going to make you feel maximum, effect. And not maximum effect in intoxication, but maximum effect in what are you trying to use this thing for? And that's what I think with cannabis, I used to tell everybody. Do you have a purpose to use the thing? And then if you tell me yes, if you think there's anything in the world that you could possibly use it for, I will tell you how to use it for that. But you just it's like a mindset about it too. And then it's also then it's knowing proper dosing.
Right.
And, you know, but hey, properly dose yourself. Don't
Yeah.
overdo things.
Yeah. Don't overdo things. Set and setting.
And just take a month off and then re-get into this thing sometime.
Yeah. It'll change your
holy
perspective on some
shit.
things.
Maybe it's not a full month because
No, I think
so
a
that you
month
don't
is
have to.
okay.
Yeah, but I got them damn dreams. Now
You
I'm
know,
feeling better about it, though, I'll tell you that.
But
I'm not dreaming as much.
you know, Dave, during the day, you could just, you know, consume CBD, and then at night consume THC.
Yeah,
That would be
also-
worthwhile at least trying
yeah, but it's
as a test.
yeah. Yeah,
You're welcome.
there's
I know.
I just don't. It's like drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Sure. Actually, I have some CBD. I have some grape fizzy from Goat that you should try. It's really good. It's really good.
All right, I'm not
Yeah.
scared.
No, I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You like this one? This is from Crane Chicago Business. This is Cresco Labs leans into efficiency, innovation after lower than expected loss. And so what it says is, while the last few months have seen Cresco Labs in the headlines for deal collapses and market exits, the company's executives focused on its refined growth strategy in a call to discuss its latest financial results. Quotes, there's a lot that goes into producing the Q3 that we had, CEO Charlie Bachtel said, while lauding his team's efforts. Bachtel credited the better-than-expected performance to Cresco's Year of the Core initiatives, while emphasized being incredibly competitive in our core markets and rigorous cost management. That means we laid off a bunch of people.
Mhm.
We are trying to do things cheaper because it is increasingly more expensive to do what we do.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You
the-
summed that up well.
Yeah, the approach, which the company leaned heavily into after its merger with Columbia Care, now the Cannabis, collapsed. We reported on that, I believe, either very early on or probably on your live stream.
Yeah, I definitely.
I know I definitely sent you something about that. Resulted in a moderate decline in sales as the company closed out operations in states where it had a weaker position, such as Arizona. But the metric fell less than the high single-digit drop initially projected.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing too, is the companies who started in Illinois had so little competition
Right.
that their numbers were just unbelievably inflated. There was a lot of like pie in the sky type shit,
Yeah.
where they were like, oh my God, we're making unbelievable money. And then they went into other markets that did already have established whatever and were already saturated. And I've called them publicly the Walmart of cannabis pretty much since the beginning of whatever. They tried to present a product that was,
I miss early Cresco.
yeah, some of it was, their reserve line was fire, but
yeah.
besides that, like they definitely even in their like kind of business model, like they did things very efficiently, which was
simply.
that's not passionately. That's not what anybody who, cares about this thing. That's not what crop culture is doing. They're not, even though there is something about effectiveness, but it's also, there's a passion to it. These people were not passionate about it from the beginning. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on anybody from Cresco that hears this who does
I understand
have
that.
passion.
I'm
but-
just saying that very early on, like, as you know, very early on, like that would have been okay for them to be the Walmart of cannabis if they had done it with some love and passion.
But that's
if they had the love and passion. I mean, but
and they still represent High Supply. High Supply is Cresco.
Yeah.
That is the most bought ounce of cannabis in Illinois because it's one of the most available ounces of cannabis. But it's a cheaper cost thing, but it's cheaper because they did it cheaper to begin with.
Right.
It's not like they weren't aiming to grow super fire cannabis. That's what the reserve line was.
Yeah.
That's why they had to bring
Right.
out. hey, we actually can grow cannabis.
Right.
They brought out a simple ass product, and that was it. It was over. Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, this thing just represents itself. Cannabis is great. People know once you get your hands on it and once you understand it, get control of it, whatever, it's one of the best things there is. So it's easy for somebody where there's no other competition
Yeah.
to just come in, make a simple product, and get away with it. But much like all of Michigan.
Man, I had some. My buddy brought me some. He went up to Michigan last week and brought me some pretty fire rosin. Hell yeah. So
Concentrates well.
yeah, concentrates are great. So basically, he also says it's not a one and done strategy. I think the decline you'll see from quarter 3 to quarter 4 will be less than what you saw from quarter 2 to quarter 3, but we're going to continue to examine every dollar we spend and look for every opportunity to run the business more efficiently at corporate and in the field. That includes decisions about how to allocate the company capital when targeting expansion. So basically, we're seeing trends already develop in states like New Jersey and Maryland that will make us more effective and more efficient. Should we choose to move into those states than if the opportunity would have presented itself over the last 18 to 24 months. The company is also looking for market opportunities in states like Florida, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Yep. So there's lots of MSOs moving and leaving states, and basically it's all about what's going to happen. We don't really know. We've got this thing. We just have to stay afloat until something else happens.
That's
That's about right.
Give them any more, but let the cannabis market go on its own.
Yeah.
And quality will always just mush out trash. And that's simply it. If you can't represent a decent product, and I guess it's not that they don't have some good things, because they do, but that's the whole point. They're Walmart. They're a little cheaper, whatever. And if you can accept that that's what you're getting, then you're getting it. But in a lot of markets, people want good shit. I guess in Arizona, that's what it's saying, because they didn't want that Cresco booty.
Yep. So, which goes on to, our next article, which is from Marijuana Biz Daily. Cannabis multistate operators exit more states in latter half of 2023. This goes on to say 2 of the country's biggest MSOs, Florida-based Trulieve Cannabis and Chicago-based Cresco Labs, exited state legal cannabis markets in the past 5 months, reflecting ongoing efforts to strengthen balance sheets as the industry awaits widely anticipated federal reform and improved investor sentiment. Yep, that's basically it.
The other thing is, too, the rate at which these people are willing to borrow money is fucking weird. They're getting...
there was actually an article about one of the bigger MSOs refinancing its debt so that they could have a lower rate. So there's still stuff going on right now.
The amount of money that you need to do
like
these things to
51 million
open up,
or 51 billion, something like that. It was crazy. Maybe it's 51 million.
Yeah,
58 million.
Reasonable.
Yeah. So we just talked about Cresco. The company has retail operations in 7 states, resulting in 191 million in revenue in the third quarter and offsetting divestments, according to Cresco's latest earnings results. So that's what that was. And Trulieve divested its 3 remaining California retail outlets this year, according to filings, and ceased operations in Massachusetts. The other big news that you're going to probably will be seeing by the time this comes out is that the federal government released its report on the woman who died in Massachusetts, which is why Trulieve no longer does that there, although they still have a distribution network there, I believe.
There's a good chance.
That was the woman who had asthma that worked in the facility where they were doing like pre-rolls and stuff. And so like that might be the first cannabis death ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if you are watching this and you work in a place where there is dust particles in the air, wear a respirator. No matter what you think or what they tell you, it will save your life.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. By taking proactive steps to strengthen our balance sheet, streamline operations, and reduce inventory, we will exit 2023 as a leaner organization, Trulieve CEO Kim Rivers said during the company's third quarter earnings call. With strong cash generation and a clearly defined strategy, Trulieve is best positioned for the coming wave of meaningful growth catalysts. Now, a move by the U.S. government to reschedule marijuana would be the most meaningful of those catalysts and could help spur more investor interest in the cannabis industry. What do you think, Dave? Probably true. I mean, everybody's waiting to see how Big
probably
Daddy
true,
government's
but-
going to give them theirs.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know how much people want to invest into other people's cannabis companies. There's a lot of people that want to invest into like their own cannabis companies,
Yep.
but they're not allowed to because the regulations are so weird. So make better licensing processes. There's a lot that needs to happen, I'm sure, but I
It's a
definitely
hard
know that
industry to
once
get
that
into.
happens, there will be more money that rushes into the market. But what more can you do? Like, it's not revolutionizing to put the fucking
Right.
thing. Like cannabis is available everywhere, pretty much across the United States. It's not getting less available. And if you don't do it, then the state next to you does it. So you can just pop next door.
Yeah, look at Indiana. It's got three states all around. It's surrounded by legal cannabis.
Yeah. So literally at this point,
And Indiana's going to get their tax money, pulling people over, and
the market's just where I think the market's at. Can it grow? Will it grow? Yeah, to a degree. And is there plenty of space for plenty of people? Yes. And is this big projection of how much people are going to spend on it probably more accurate? Yes. But if they keep doing the dumb shit that they have been doing, there will always be a secondary market that is not regulated by 30% taxation and weird shit. So
yeah,
until there is some big ass reform, how much money are you going to get return? I don't know.
it's rough out there. It's rough out there for a pimp.
Dude, these damn government pimps and shit. They're
The
struggling.
industry is also optimistic that the Safer Banking Act, which would protect financial institutions from federal prosecution if they serve state legal marijuana business, will be passed by the U.S. Senate. But the measure's prospects in the House of Representatives are less certain after a recent selection of hard-right Republican Mike Johnson as the chamber's Johnson. I don't know if it's misspelled, as the chamber's new speaker. Meanwhile, support for marijuana legalization among Americans is at an all-time high. Yeah,
I mean, they're just, it has to happen. It's just when now.
No, see,
in my life, I used to say, okay, Illinois will never get cannabis. This in my life. I'm 34. I started
I said the
talking
same about the
this
Cubs
thing
and the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I started talking about cannabis publicly I've talked about it in high school. I started talking about it. I was like 14, 15 years old. So I was like, shit, everybody needs to know about this. And then in my life, I was like, there's no fucking way they're bringing a legal market here. There will always be some West Coast thing and just it'll stay over there. And then once it got here, I was like, holy shit. Now it's like there's no doubt about it. It's coming. Federal reform has to come. This thing is consumed by way too many people for it not to be looked at.
I think, unfortunately, what we're seeing happen is that the government has decided that this is how they're going to get their money, and that they're going to overregulate and tax the hell out of it, and they're going to ruin pot. They're going to ruin pot for everybody.
No, they're not, because like I just said, there's going to be a secondary market for this shit.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. And fucking local governments aren't going to you're going to get a few brown nosers that are going to be dicks about some things, but the rest of your local policy enforcers aren't going to fucking give a shit about it because there's federal regulation. Now you're allowed to do whatever. So what are you going to do? Send the fucking FBI from state to state to pull over fucking kids who are fucking...
We'll see. Rescheduling it to Schedule 3 is not going to make it legal. I mean, they just need to deschedule it.
100%.
Until that happens, like if that happens, then that's a whole different story.
Do what they do with with nicotine. Or alcohol. It's the same shit.
I guess.
I mean, that's my take at it. Just fucking get it off a schedule list of anything.
Yeah, just
Stupid.
deschedule it.
Yeah, just get
Deschedule
it
the whole
off. It's
thing.
not
We've said
there.
that before.
Yeah.
Like marijuana needs to be descheduled. Period.
Yeah.
Period. So here's a good one. Speaking of, California's biggest pot distributor has collapsed. California is the biggest marijuana market in the United States, correct? I would assume. I mean, Colorado may.
Colorado smashed for a while. You might be surprised. Michigan might
That's
probably
true.
be up there too. Michigan just gets fucking flooded by their surrounding area. Indiana is right, and Indiana's fucked.
Yeah.
Illinois people are going to Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, Wisconsin people are going to Michigan. Ohio people are going to Michigan. Everybody's going to Michigan.
Ohio just legalized. I mean, but
They're
they're
still going to go over to Michigan.
It looks like probably. It looks like they're gonna try and rewrite, or they're gonna rewrite some of those laws. Ohio is doing similar to Illinois, where the voters legalized it, referendum or whatever, and then the governor goes, I don't think they really understood what they were saying, so we're gonna make all these laws and just insert them into an already passed bill.
Yeah, following Illinois' laws isn't terrible in some regard, but it is also fucking worse than the taxation range. That's the only thing that, I mean, but we also have to understand, Vegas is the same way as here.
Yep.
Colorado's kind of the same as here. I think they're only 5 or 10% less than we are, and it might not even be that much anymore. But people around the whole entire United States are getting whacked 30%.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It's weird, dude. I mean, Michigan's one of the best, and I think they're like 15 or something.
This is why you should get your medical card. If you have questions about that, you can contact the Two Dope Dudes podcast at gmail.com, and we would be happy to refer you to somebody in your Illinois area.
Yeah, I got you.
100%.
Yeah.
But then you can get 1% sales tax.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this spring, rumors were swirling that HERBL, one of California's largest cannabis distribution companies, was on the verge of collapse. So Mike Beaudry, the company's CEO, sent out an email on May 18th declaring that these rumors are categorically not true. Categorically not true. HERBL continues to be fully operational. Less than a month later, HERBL has completely collapsed. Dun, dun, dun. So HERBL's failure left a trail of damage that hurt small pot brands and shorted the state some $17 million in unpaid taxes. HERBL is only one of the latest high-flying California pot startup to crumble, following companies like Flowcanna, which raised $175 million in capital only to collapse, and MedMen.
Oh, Jesus.
The California startup that earned $1 billion valuation, calling itself the Apple Store of weed, only to find itself this year on the brink of financial ruin.
They were.
Publicly, I don't have anything to say about MedMen.
No, it's all good.
Not on video.
Yeah,
not recorded.
They were a wild bit. They tried to take over
everything.
Verilife.
Yeah,
and
I remember
they came
that.
in, and their CEO or something of that nature was up on a stage, and they forced all of us to go to this thing. And fuck, I wish Drummer was listening right now. And if she does, that'd be awesome, because
she said she does.
We'll force her to do this so she can answer the question. But they had like some catchphrase or something, and the guy kept saying it, and I don't remember what it is.
I have heard this story before, and it was like, is this the go get it or something? And then at the end where he wouldn't consume, is this the same story?
No,
or am I conflating two different?
I think you have two different stories, but the catchphrase was something very simple and similar to that. And you might be right. I don't know his consumption background or not, but This guy got up there and literally, it felt like fucking Tony Robbins and shit, dude. Or what was his name? Tony fucking...
No, Tony Robbins.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Solace is super into Tony Robbins. He goes to he's like a Tony Robbins dude.
Yeah, I had a buddy who was like friends with him. I've seen like pictures of them
That's awesome.
together and shit. Like he used to do like speeches
Yeah.
with him and shit. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
awesome.
Yeah, no.
Shout out to Tony Robbins.
Hey, how about it? He's probably listening.
It's 7 billion people. The whole world listens to this. You can tell by the views on YouTube.
Yeah. You know what my brain did when I said Tony Robbins and then second question it? I was thinking about Christopher Robbins for a second. Dude.
Oh, okay.
That's like, who's that? Winnie the Pooh or something?
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, you know.
And Christopher Robin, too.
I was like, damn, did I just bring the fucking Winnie the Pooh guy up? No. But yeah. Anyway, that's what it felt like. It was really weird. They came in and they were like, oh, we're the Apple Store, we're $1 billion, we're whatever, and then like the merger fucking failed. They went from like
it was like $100 million or something. Dude, it was something crazy.
No, it was like a fucking $625 million valuation or some crazy. I don't remember what the fuck it was. It was nutty, buddy. Supposed to be the biggest cannabis purchase ever, but it was all in fucking stock option. And their shit went from $13 a share to like $1, and like it was the weirdest.
And this was before the COVID times.
Yeah.
This is back in the
pre-COVID, right before, right before.
It's like
like a year before.
Yeah,
because I got transferred over to be a manager at the other store because they were coming in and whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. And then they came back and they're like, "No, we're strong. We got this shit. We're making
like, man,
recreational is coming. We're gonna make a fuck ton of money. You know, you guys got to get ready." We're like, "All right, whatever." And they did, man. They fucking.
They were right.
They piled it in for a little while. So, good on them.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
So here is why this is So drummer, tell us what the catchphrase was. That's the point. We'll clip this right here and send it to drummer.
Yeah, nice.
California state law requires distributor companies to work as middlemen between pot producers and retailers. HERBL's demise has become a giant flashing red warning sign because of the vital role distributors play in California's market. If a company as large and entrenched as HERBL can go under, experts say, then there are deep problems in the industry that will only lead to more company failures. Didn't we just sign a law in Illinois with transporters? Basically, this is the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do feel, this is what it says, I do feel like we're going to see a significant and material number of closures up and down the supply chain. Wesley Hine, the president of the Cannabis Distribution Association, told SF Gate. Observers in the industry say that HERBL's demise shows how cannabis companies in California are forced to abide by a more difficult set of rules than other industries. They also argue that if HERBL were a different type of company, the state government would have stepped in to save it. Yeah, pretty much. Basically what they're saying is that over-regulation is bad.
Yeah, I mean, did it just say that they missed paying
$17 million in taxes?
How the fuck do you fuck that up?
Who else? What else did I just see? Somebody else.
Aren't you an all
St. Louis, because of missed paperwork, missed out on $15 million in taxes. It looks like.
That doesn't make any sense, dude. Like,
what has the government ever taken over and made better, more efficient?
Nah, yeah.
Okay, so Tyler Kearns, the founder and CEO of Seven Leaves, a Sacramento-based cannabis company, said it felt sickening in the moment in June when he learned that HERBL had finally bit the dust. Kearns said HERBL owned Seven Leaves $880,000. So when he found out in June that the company had started laying off delivery drivers, he realized it was going to be almost impossible to get that money back.
Oh, no.
I knew this was going to be the biggest failure in U.S. cannabis history, Kearns told SF Gate. HERBL wasn't always arousing such fear. Founded in 2016 by veteran executives by the food distribution industry, it quickly grew to be a major player in California's newly legal pot market. By 2022, the company was delivering to over 1,000 stores and reportedly sold $700 million worth of cannabis in 2022 alone, making it a massive pillar of California's $5 billion legal pot market. From 2018 to 2022, it was the largest distributor in the state. So 6
Where
years.
the fuck is the money? Bro, you sold $700 million of fucking weed as one company, and where's the fucking money, dude? Dude, it's all cash. There, so you know what's going on. That's some crazy shady shit, bro. That's some weird, I don't think regulation is the part there, because they didn't pay the motherfucker $17 million in taxes to begin with. And they didn't pay this other company $880,000. These motherfuckers were yoinking money. And hey, I would look at their top executives' boats and shit and go, "Oh, well, no, that makes sense. That's probably where the money's at." Jesus Christ.
HERBL's rapid rise was driven largely by two factors. Its exclusive distribution contracts with some of the biggest brands in the state, which made HERBL attractive for retailers and even smaller pot brands, and its trench of investment cash, which allowed HERBL to keep paying its bills even as the rest of the state's industry sunk into a debt crisis. Okay. Both of those factors started to unravel in the past 2 years. In January 2022, HERBL lost its contract with Raw Garden, one of the biggest producers of cannabis in California. The distributor quickly filed a lawsuit alleging that Raw Garden had breached its contract, but the lawsuit has yet to be resolved, leaving the distributor without one of its top-selling products. Without a big name like Raw Garden, California's debt problems started to drag down the company. HERBL had become known as the Bank of Cannabis in California because it kept buying more cannabis from suppliers even after retailers stopped paying for goods they had purchased from HERBL. That meant HERBL was effectively holding debt for the entire industry. As unpaid bills piled up across California's weed market, a 2022 report estimated that the industry was sitting on over $600 million in debt. It eventually became too much for HERBL to handle. Rumors started spreading that the distribution company, which had a reputation for paying producers no matter what, was no longer doing so. The panic left even more brands to leave the platform.
Oh, see, now I guess that makes more sense. See, I had jumped to too many goddamn conclusions. Hey, that's no fucking joke, man. Like, if the other people ain't paying their bills, but that's the other thing. That's why I've been saying, like, there's only so much fucking weed that's gonna get sold, especially if your shit is so much more expensive than everywhere else. It doesn't make sense. Go to fucking Oregon for a minute. Go to fucking Washington. Oregon was the craziest shit I've ever seen, and that was exponentially better than fucking Michigan. We just only know Michigan because of our proximity to it. But man, them motherfuckers are selling. You can carry 2 pounds of weed if you got a fucking Oregon license. You can carry 2 pounds of weed in a backpack. You can literally have it on your fucking person, and you're okay. It's like a totally different mindset about the thing. Let the fucking market go. Let it fucking do its thing. If people sell it and buy it, it's a plant. There is a bunch of effort that goes into growing good cannabis, and people will pay for that. But there's also plenty of people who will take Cresco High Supply and go home happy as shit because they didn't have to pay as much as the rest of the people. And
I want to show you that picture. That was actually, Oregon was my first experience with legal cannabis.
Nice.
2016.
Nice.
That was,
dude, it fucking slayed. I was, even as an out-of-state person, I think I was able to purchase an ounce of weed or 2 ounces of weed or some
for
shit.
like $100, and I was like, what? I got edibles. I got like flour.
I must have bought 15, 20 packs of joints.
Yeah.
Because it was like $8 a piece, dude.
I just walk around the Japanese gardens smoking fucking pre-rolls, looking at roses.
Bruh.
Dude,
I was in the fucking...
I
was in the mountains there. Went to Yellowstone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was there for
It was.
roller derby for champs in
Yeah.
2016. That was fun. With the champs.
Yeah. Yeah. Still the most. Yeah. Most.
Beautiful.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm tired of hills though right now. I I love Portland, but the hills, I don't want to fuck with hills. I fucked with too many hills in Arkansas. Climbed a damn mountain.
I've been watching a lot of mountain climbing shit again. I really got back into it pretty good.
Dude, I legitimately climbed a mountain in Arkansas.
They took The Alpinist off of Netflix.
Really?
My heart got broken. But
You want me to download it for you?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Literally,
I got you.
Yeah, The Alpinist.
Okay.
it
Any
would
movies
make
or TV shows, I got you.
Oh my.
No, dude, you have no idea. Just
Well.
bring me a hard drive.
Well.
So, cut that out. Not a pirate. Yar har.
Yo ho, yo ho.
Let's see here. He admitted that HERBL had missed payments to some of its suppliers, but assured customers that we fully expect the current situation to be temporary. The letter did little to change concerns, yet more brands left the company, and some called on retailers to stop paying HERBL and instead pay the cannabis brands directly. The final blow came June 20th when MJ Biz Daily reported that the company's main lender, East West Bank, had canceled HERBL's line of credit, effectively turning off the company's cash flow and plunging California's biggest pot distributor into receivership.
Wow.
That's left cannabis brands looking for money they may never receive. Ali Jamalane, owner of San Francisco cannabis company Sunset Connect, said he is owed $180,000 by HERBL. Like Kearns, he said he has little hope of getting it back. He said he felt used by HERBL because he launched with the company in January of this year, just as, in hindsight, it appears the company was crumbling, but said the distributor obscured its poor financial position by repeatedly assuring Jamalane that the company was on firm financial footing. So he said, "Oh yeah, they said we're fine." Okay, cool. So they sued him.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, I think the cannabis market is in disarray.
Wow. And that's the other thing too. If that's happening,
Yes, in California.
how much investor money do you think people are willing to put into companies like this? If people aren't getting paid, this is going to be the biggest red flag for investment into the cannabis industry. Yeah, that's crazy as fuck, actually.
So here is one more thing that I want to say. Hein of the Cannabis Distribution Cannabis Distribution Association said that HERBL's failure was partially caused by poor business decisions, particularly its continued reliance on the traditional distribution model, despite its clear pattern of California retailers being unable to pay their bills. But, he said, the collapse also exposes systemic issues in California's pot industry that will doom other businesses. He pointed to overtaxation, competition from unlicensed pot businesses that undercut legal operators, and very excessively and overly burdensome regulations, and compared the collapse of HERBL to the 2008 failure of the Lehman Brothers Bank. Lehman Brothers was a century-old firm with 99 profitable years. You would think somebody in all of that would go, let's bail them out, let's put money in. But when they looked like they were too risky to invest in, that really signaled something, Hein said. So this is a story about HERBL, but it's also a story about every distributor, so there's still time to fix the system. There's always time to start trying to improve and correct things.
Yeah, that's I mean, taxation's an issue, but
yeah,
the dollar bills are getting handed to your fucking there's just too much product also being grown at what rate do you do it? I don't know, maybe there's a lot more going on behind. I just know that distributors are massive in some of these places. Out here, we literally have cultivation sites that are built out to be 1 million square feet of growing cannabis. They're fenced off so that they could grow in a building.
Yep.
And maybe their footprint's only half of that or quarter of that or whatever right now, but they have it set up so that they could do the thing. When other fucking new distribution companies or cultivation companies are only given a 5,000 square foot footprint. So now you're fucking like, it's I don't know. It's weird. And maybe is 5,000 square foot enough for a company, but how many people can you there's a lot that goes into that. Maybe I'm trying to unpack it in my brain really fast, but it's not
It's, I mean,
it's layered. It's super layered up. There's a lot of fucking people, but debt is money too,
Yeah.
Like debt is something that needs to be paid. And if this company, HERBL, is owed all kinds of debt that isn't getting paid by the people who are bringing in the money every day, that's pretty bad too,
And now companies, you're going to see a lot of companies collapse in California. Obviously,
they already were.
It
their
has been, because
decline has been nutty.
Since like 2015, 2016, it's been nutty.
Yeah,
when they started really over regulating extracts, and
they tried to take on more in like probably 2018 or 2019. It was right before COVID came about. California did a bunch of law reform, and it almost looked like they were trying to be Illinois 2.0. It was like, oh my God, wait a minute. Illinois is making fucking 36% fucking taxes on their people, and their people are fucking spending this much money on cannabis. And they were like, we'll do the same fucking thing. But they already had an established market.
Yep.
They already had people that were willing to say, fuck that.
Yeah.
And if your people are smart, they just get a fucking medical license, don't get whacked by fucking taxes. But it seems worse than that when we're hearing what's going on there. It seems like there's an excess of products sitting on shelves that people aren't selling, so they can't give you the fucking money back.
Right.
Your shit isn't selling, or it's not sold.
And you can't just stop the process. You can't just stop growing weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if as a producer, you're constantly producing.
It's a cycle. Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And the way
support dope people.
Yeah.
Support dope people for sure.
Yeah, holy cow.
I think
this is crazy.
It is crazy. I think the point of it is that probably it could be the best time to invest in the cannabis market. It's also the most unstable time to invest in the cannabis market. Yeah,
but it's just, at what level of risk for what level of return? Because even if you told me I get 15% or 20% and you're going to pay me back in a year, fuck,
yeah,
dude,
like how many points on that?
We see like how that's you're willing to give somebody 15-20% on their fucking dollar.
Yeah,
you're taking monster risk.
Yeah,
but where in the fuck is the money going? Because I watched these things get sold, and I saw how big the inventory started to get there towards the end with recreational, and there was even times legitimate as fuck when they first came out, when it was all hyped up and there was 400 people lined up on fucking the first day of cannabis in Illinois, maybe 600, whatever. We had to kick a bunch of people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, of course, it was all hype. It was glitter and gold, but I kept talking the whole time. I'm like, this is not going to fucking keep going. People can't keep coming here, and I'm not even fucking around when I say that the first time I watched a guy buy 1 ounce of cannabis from Illinois on the recreational side, he bought 8 eighths of cannabis at $88.88 a piece. It's $720 fucking dollars for an ounce of cannabis, and he did it with a smile on his face. Now, there are people that have maybe that kind of money to piss away. The average you and fucking me, we just don't. There's no way you can blow that kind of money to go, oh, well, I have the legal right to do it. This dude said, I wish I could buy another ounce. I said, you are out of your fucking mind. I said, get back in the fucking back of that line. You can do it. And there was like 600 people. He started laughing. He's like, no fucking thanks. But he literally said, I would do it again. Well, you fool. Now you're fucking illegally operating in Illinois. Now you've purchased too much fucking cannabis. And if you drove down the street and you got pulled over with 2 ounces of cannabis instead of 1, like you're allowed to fucking have,
Yep.
you would be breaking the fucking law. And it wouldn't be legal anymore. And it's cool for a moment to piss that kind of money away and whatever. But that was it. It was like this moment of like, you know, I don't know. It might be like hitting the fucking the slot machine and getting the fucking jackpot. And you're like, woo, you know, for a moment. But like, dude, you can't sustain that forever. You're gonna keep spending money into the fucking slot machine.
I still have my first anniversary of recreational pin somewhere. So it's like, you know, what does it say? Like essential or you know the you know shout out. Shout out to participating in the culture. No, point being, fuck the recreational market. Support,
I mean, it's
support
fine.
Support your local home growers.
We should fucking draw a line. Fuck medical, fuck recreational. It's all the fucking same. Tax fucking at the goddamn medical rate. Fucking tax at food rate, for Christ's sakes. Tax at fucking alcohol or cigarette rates. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think the sugar tax was. I think the sugar tax was less than the cannabis tax, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's like 25% on the sugar tax, right? That was the Cook County sugar tax.
No shit.
I think so. They tried that for a while.
Yeah, well,
that's crazy.
Try it again. Put it on fucking caffeine. No, I just triggered somebody out there. They're like, no way.
No, it was a very bad idea.
Don't fuck my Dunkin' up.
Yeah.
I already spend enough money there.
Yeah,
I know.
It was a
That's
percentage based on the amount of sugar in the drink. I think they either talked about doing it or did do it. I don't remember. But yeah, it was a bad idea.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, hell yeah. That's episode 22.
Woo!
Shout out. We love you all. Any last words? You want to wrap it up?
There's no difference between recreational and medical cannabis. All use of cannabis should probably be classified as medical use of cannabis. Make sure you're properly doing this thing and not overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then make sure you are supporting your dope people.
Yep.
Much like our friend Chris at Crop Culture.
Yep. Yeah.
And thank you, Charlie and Rochelle.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie and Rochelle, as always, here at the Low Bean Studios. Shout out to all our friends, and hug your loved ones, and smoke weed every day. We love you. Peace.
Later.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.